So in today's video, we're going to be covering 6 supersets for the shoulders. A little bit of a tongue twister there. Now I won't be going into detail on how these exercises individually are executed, simply the combinations that you can incorporate that will allow you to get a serious shoulder pump with minimal equipment, and not one of those pieces of equipment has to be heavy in order to be effective. Now first on the list, we've got the only 3 exercise superset of today's video. A front, side, rear lateral combination. So you're going to start with 15 to 20 reps of front laterals. As soon as you completed 15 to 20 of those, immediately you'll go into 15 to 20 reps of side laterals before transitioning into a rear lateral. Knees slightly bent, chest down, raising the arms up until they're parallel with the floor, and ensuring that the dumbbells do not make contact with your body at any point on any of these exercises, so we keep maximal tension on the muscles. Front raises are up to parallel with the floor. They do not touch the thighs when you lower them back down. Side laterals stop just about parallel with the floor with a slight angle downwards. They do not touch the legs when you return down through the range of motion. And with the rear lateral, we make sure the dumbbells don't touch each other when they come close to the midline of the torso before raising them up just about parallel with the floor. Next on the list, you're going to need a very light tension band, and you're going to anchor that band as close to the ground as you possibly can. Once that band is anchored, we're going to start out with a static lateral hold. Now this is a deceptively brutal superset. So light weights or light objects that you have at your disposal, you're going to hold for a predetermined amount of time. 20 to 30 seconds is usually more than adequate, but it will of course be relative to the weights that you have access to in your individual level of strength. Once you've completed that static hold, maintaining those weights just about parallel with the floor, with the elbows fully extended, you're going to immediately lower the weights down, get them out of your way, and transition into a side lateral with the band. The side lateral with the band will be executed for 15 to 20 repetitions under control, ensuring that your arm does not hit your leg as you come down through the range of motion, and that you raise that arm up to at least parallel with the floor. There's no need to go any higher than that, but I can assure you that this combination will contribute to a more than adequate shoulder pump. Now for the next superset, I'm actually going to lower the camera angle down a little bit because we will be on the floor. You're going to need a moderate tension band, likely a little bit heavier than the one you would have used for side lateral raises. And what we're going to do is assume a seated position on the floor with a slightly heavier set of dumbbells as well, should have mentioned that, than you would have used for your side raises. And we're going to do a seated neutral hand positioning overhead press. So those dumbbells are going to look kind of like the grip position you would use for a hammer curl. The palms are facing in towards each other, and the heads of the dumbbells are pointing to the front and back respectively. So from here, keeping the elbows tight to the sides and the torso upright, chest proud, we're pressing up, overhead, and lowering right back down to shoulder height. As many reps as you possibly can in a rep range that is intense relative to the weights you have and your individual level of strength. So let's say the 15 to 20 rep range is what you're aiming for. As soon as that's complete, you'll place the dumbbells down and you'll immediately go into a band pull apart, making sure that you're squeezing the shoulder blades together and ensuring tension does not leave in the band. You're not allowing the slack to develop at any point in the rep, keeping maximal tension on the rear delts. Next on the list targets more of the traps and the rear delts. We're going to start with a kneeling dumbbell shrug. So, just like so, raising up, shrugging towards the ears, keeping the elbows fully extended, and moving primarily from the traps as well as the upper back. As soon as these are complete, we're going to transition into a prone lying trap press, which tends to target both the traps and the rear delts. So you're going to lie face down on the ground. You don't need any weight for these. not easy. And what you're going to do is reach all the way out to a full extension in the elbows before drawing back until the hands are just below the ears through a full range of motion back to a full extension. And the key on these is at no point do we want our arms or our hands to make contact with the floor. These will execute for a high rep range, 20 to 30 repetitions in a row, moving at a controlled, deliberate pace. So for the next combination, you're going to need a moderately heavy set of dumbbells and a lighter set of dumbbells. We're going to start with a dumbbell Arnold press. Dumbbells are starting at shoulder level, palms facing you, and a fluid rotation with the dumbbells will occur, pressing right up overhead. Now the palms are facing away from you before smoothly returning back down to the bottom end range of motion. Back up overhead and then right back in again. As soon as those are complete, we'll transition into a rear dumbbell lateral. Knees are slightly bent, hips are back, chest is just above parallel with the floor, arms fully extended, and we're raising up until the dumbbells are parallel with the floor as well, controlling back to the midline of the torso without letting the dumbbells touch, before returning back up. These will execute for higher reps to contrast the lower reps we would be doing with a moderate load on Arnold presses. For the final superset here, we're going to need a little bit of equipment. A set of rope attachment, a carabiner, as well as a band. You're going to anchor the band, preferably somewhere just above the head, and from there you're going to attach the band into the carabiner, just like so. Now for this combination, we're going to start with a banded face pull. So slight bend in the knees, pulling the ropes towards the nose and controlling back. Really focus on squeezing those shoulder blades together. Before moving into a prone trap press, body weight combined with a handcuff. It'll look something like this. Reaching out to a full extension in the elbows before coming back around, placing the back of the hands on the small of the lower back. Returning back out to the front and drawing back in. This one is executed for higher repetitions, aiming for 20 to 25 reps at a time. So hopefully those 6 supersets spark a little bit of creativity in you so that you can add some variety to your workouts and eliminate some degree of monotony. If you found this video informative, if it did give you a few ideas that you hadn't thought of before, then hopefully you'll take the time to subscribe or follow, depending on what social media platform you're seeing this on. And of course, if you have any specific questions regarding training, nutrition, or just health in general, make sure to send them my way, and I'll be sure to answer them in an upcoming post.